The beautiful city of London is where we find ourselves here for the FACEIT Asia Minors live from Twickenham Stadium. My name is Trace Saranthus, and I am your host. As you hear me now, and you're seeing the beautiful scenes all around the city. You know, it's been quite some time since I've been here in London, and quite frankly, it's lovely every single time. Of course, the weather this time around is remarkably better than I ever remember it. And here on the desk at the Miners, my name is Trace, yet again, your host, and to my right will be Bleh and the Night Owl Sponge.
Mate, it's I love staying up all night watching the Counter-Strike, so that's where that nickname comes from. You got to be all about the CS every hour of the day.
All hours of the day, all the CS, all the rounds is almost what we're expecting here this time, but not entirely sure. We didn't go quite the distance in the last game where I guess Mirage, it wasn't necessarily a one-sided affair, but now we're going to be moving on to the BOOT versus Renegades game. Now, this being the second best of one of the day, this team will move on, or excuse me, the winner of this match will move on to play the winner of the previous match.
Yeah, and we've already said it earlier, and if you're just joining us, you missed it, but Renegades are the clear favorite of this tournament alongside Tyloo. Now, the way that the minor works is two teams are going to go through to the new Challenger Series for the Major, and those two teams, time and time again, have continuously been Renegades and Tyloo. And we've got Renegades on your screen, and I'm going to probably be a very proud Australian right now because this used to be my team. If you're new to Counter-Strike, you know, these are my boys. I used to play with JKS, Azza, and Ustillo, and they're still part of the roster. They've added in Nifty. He's a North American AWP player, and he's also the in-game leader for this team. Doing a fantastic job of that. Does great in the interviews as well. And the most recent player to join is Jacob from Norway. So the Asian minor with some people from all over the globe, basically. But these guys here, they play in North America on a consistent basis. They go to all the big tournaments around the world, and they definitely have the most experience out of all the squads here. So you were looking for them to go hard early.
I mean, you talk about them having the experience, and I think it also comes down to the exposure. We talked a little bit about it last in the pregame about how just some of these Asian teams don't necessarily have the exposure all the time to, dare I say, super top-level CS.
Well, you've got to take risks, though, right, to get out there. You have to go to a MSI Beat It and then go to a DreamHack Major in 2013.
You have to risk it to get the biscuit, one might say.
They were the first team from the Asian Oceanic region to kind of like break out from the scene. You know, they've had ups and downs here and there, but yeah, they are by far. I completely agree with you guys. They are by far the favorites here.
It'd be surprising to see these guys struggle against a boot just getting off an aeroplane, and they are sounding quite happy. They're quite jovial. They're just over the other side of the wall that's in front of us, and we can hear them. They're having a good time, even though JKS is on your screen, not smiling.
Does he ever smile though?
Yeah,
sometimes. Yeah.
No, but he's always he's happy. He just likes. I think he's embraced it now. I think he's embraced just being like a stone cold Steve Austin type character.
I always kind of pinned him as the Australian version of Shroud in a way. I mean, he's got the
just
aim,
not as entertaining.
He's got the sometimes he smiles, but more than likely he's not smiling. That's just the way it goes.
More than likely not smiling, but smiling inside.
Shroud does kind of have like a tiny little faintly happy grin on his face. It's like a smirkish sort of thing, right? He's like, I'm better than you.
And the sun shines on the inside for most people anyway. So
okay, Chad.
Yeah.
Okay. You feeling sensual this morning? I'm
in a positive way. I'm happy. 48 hours of pure bliss, Trace.
You know what would make everybody happy? I think if they got millions upon millions of FACEIT points, in which you may have the opportunity to grab this entire week here at the Miners. There's a chance for you to grab points through FACEIT. And, of course, is it 15 million?
It's 15 million. If you're on the YouTubes, hook her up with your FACEIT account. You get drops throughout. You can get little drops of, I think, 1,000, 2,000 points. But there's a whole kitty worth of 15,000 FACEIT points.
You can buy a house with that.
No.
Not
a Lego house,
that's not true.
maybe.
I didn't specify.
Not an actual
maybe
house.
Maybe a dragon.
Maybe
or
a gingerbread house. How about that? I think is more appropriate. And also, moving on to our next team, it's going to be BOOT. Now, we did say that they had a rather challenging task getting here, and it's going to be interesting to see exactly how this one plays out in the psyches and in the physical ability of the team, because it's been a long night.
Yeah, the thing with BOOT is, right, here's the thing. They are the most frustrating team to come out from Asia.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why. They're actually good. They actually have the pedigree of players. They amongst all the Asian countries, Singapore's the only country where they actually transition from CS 1.6 to Source to CSGO quite smoothly. Like you're talking about old school players like I forgot his name.
Striker X
from Team Titans. All these old school guys. They were playing CSGO when it came out. They've kind of like taught these guys what they know. They have the pedigree. They have the understanding and whatnot. They stomped everyone online. They've beaten Tyloo. They qualified for IEM Sydney. They qualified for Cologne.
Yes,
they qualified for events, right? And then they just crap the bed on LAN every single time.
At least they're consistent.
Consistently. Last 10 maps. Last 10 maps in LAN, they've lost each and every single one of them. I don't think they even got double digits once, or maybe once or twice, right?
Well, that's not great.
And that's a sad thing. You talk to them, you know that these guys, they understand the game. They got the comms down right. They have a more EU mentality approaching the game. You're talking to players like Impression. You have Splashka, Explosive Opera, you have Benkai.
Tommy's always looked impressive to me online.
Yeah, he's a great entry fragger, right? Now here's the thing, the 5th player is a guy called Bobasaur, who is standing in for their 5th player, Winter, who's a Kazakhstani player.
Visa.
Yeah, he couldn't get his visa in time, so they have a stand-in. That's the unfortunate thing over here. Also, the fact that they played the last chance qualifier, 24 hours back, 14-hour flight over here, landed at 5 o'clock in the morning, 3 hours later, they're ready to play here, so rough times.
I think if you put that in context, right, the whole idea that they're getting off an aeroplane to here and play a minor, which people need to understand, a minor for this region and the CIS region, it means a lot, right? Because this can be the springboard to you potentially being one of the top teams in your region, and from there, look, the world's your oyster. You get invited to more events, you get plenty more chances, and that's a really positive thing. So to come into this tournament off of a flight from Singapore, not being allowed to eat chewing gum, and having to go up against Renegades, all these factors are really unfortunate for this Boot squad. So it's difficult to put a lot of stock in their favor, but maybe this is the new plan. Maybe here's the strat. You get on a plane, you recharge, I don't know how. I'm trying to build a real positive narrative here.
I understand.
You eat some delicious plane food, right? You get off, and you just feel and counter.
But you definitely don't want to eat the chewing gum. I want to advise against that already. Now, that's what Sponge said. I'm not about that life.
No.
I don't
They're
think
not
you
allowed
eat chewing
to.
gum, so it's kind of...
you know what I meant. Chewing gum.
Sometimes chat.
Chewing gum.
Not sure. I think
But
it's some
not,
Australian
do you know they're not
mannerisms.
allowed chewing gum in Singapore?
At all.
It's banned.
At all, it's banned.
It's banned. It's illegal.
Highly addictive. Who knows?
Do you think
know
they
what
need
else?
some freedom?
Wow, maybe a little much, but no. You know what we need now is to free this map pool. We have the map vetoes in front of you, and as well as the Renegades getting warmed up. And guys, I guess where do we think this one's going to end up? I have a guess.
You have a guess?
Go on.
I have a guess. It's going to be between 2 maps.
Okay.
And that is?
It's going to be between either
before the maps get down
Dust
to
2 or Train.
Which is reasonable. You know why? Because Dreamscape should definitely ban Train and Cash. They only played... sorry, not Train. Yeah, Train and Cash. They're pretty good at Train and Cash, but Renegades are so much better than them, right?
Yeah, I guess the difference in a matchup like this, if you are Renegades and you are such a huge favorite, you want to get rid of scrimmy maps. You want to get to maps that are more strategical and you have the clear edge, the more practice, you played against tougher opponents. So if it does get down to something like a Train or a Cash, which is still left in the pool, Renegades are the clear favorites still, right? And you have to be confident. If you're Renegades, you get rid of like the Dust 2s of the world, you get rid of the Mirages of the world, you take out any X-Factor players that can just carry the game, and then you get down to these final 2. Cash is a scrimmy map, but it's Renegade's best map, I would say.
Absolutely, and it's unfortunately for Dreamscape as well, it is their best map. They've gone for Train. It's unfortunate, right? If they were going to play Cash, which is a map which would favor Dreamscape a little bit because they have a stand-in, they've got to go for a buggy style, but they're playing against Renegades, it's their best map. Then you have Train, where you might stand a chance, but you don't have Winter, who's your stand-in. Although, to be very honest, Winter hasn't really been a star player for them.
Okay.
He's been a solid player overall, kind of a support player. He's at his moment still growing in the team, so to speak. But if you're looking at the foundation of this team is built off Splashka's op, Benkai's rifling, and Tommy entering. These guys are there, so they might have a semblance of getting a few rounds at the very least.
This is a map, obviously, where the AWP is going to be a really huge factor, right? And you have to look towards Renegades in recent times. An old mate, JKS, picking up that secondary AWP. Now, I've known Justin for an extremely long period of time, and he's never been an AWPer. So to see him picking it up and using it...
You feel proud?
I don't feel proud. I feel very confused. I don't know what Gomez is letting happen over there in the Renegades camp. It's all fallen... No, but it's been working, right? So on a map like this, Renegades actually did have a pretty decent result in recent times, right? They've been looking really proficient on it.
Yep.
I think from... for those who don't know, Kassad was the coach earlier this year. He's left, and now Ryu's come in as the coach. And I think what he brings... Ryu and Nifty used to go hand in hand throughout the Selfless time. And I think what Ryu can bring as well is a bit of fire up. Not necessarily in in this opening match of the day, but when they get to these matches where it going to get a little bit tighter, they are going to have to put the pedal to the metal. Rai, I think, can be an influencing factor in terms of the positivity, in terms of the vibe of the team. But in a matchup like this, we can't paint it any other way. Renegades are the clear favorites. They should be winning this one comfortably. Boot, just coming off the flight. There is potential there. We know that the players in this team can get something done, but this is an uphill battle, and Trace knows we're at the top of the mountain, but we're only halfway there.
That is the most eloquently beautiful thing that I've ever heard someone say. I know you didn't say it originally, and I know I say it from time to time, but, something about the doc. Anyway, look, the point is, yes, Renegades are the clear favorite, but also imagine you've been sitting on the airplane for umpteen hours, and I can't wait to get in there, just get to fragging. And potentially that's what happens here, but no matter what, silver linings.
I mean, silver linings, yeah, but let's be honest, right? This is an appetizer for Renegades. It's pretty much an appetizer game. Dreamscape, though, here's the thing. The fact that VG looked very shaky, they have a stand-in playing in for them, and they're just very rough.
There's
performance.
hope.
There is hope for them to get out of to the playoffs at the very least.
What we could do, what I want someone on the internet to do, and I want them to tweet it at me with the hashtag FACEIT.
Okay, nice.
If you've seen the Simpsons episode where they go to Australia, and Bart does the thing with the phone call and racks up all the bills, and then he has to go to court. And then in Australian courts, this is true. They actually did their research.
A kangaroo court?
No, he gets the boot. He gets the boot, right? So the guy's going to kick him in the backside. I want someone to Photoshop that. The boot is Renegades, and Bart Simpson will be boot. You get it? You get it? There's a bit of a switcheroo there.
Now, Chad waited all night to use that. He sat in his room. He meticulously looked up, hey, man, how can I really make this one kind of come together? Boom, Simpsons, just like that.
I'm on top of my game. I'm on top of my game right now.
But you're only halfway up.
And I'm peaking.
Oh, never mind.
All right.
Fair enough. All right, guys, so we've kind of painted the narrative here that Renegades are the favorite to go into this one.
Yeah.
But I guess in terms of predictions is where I'm going to have to ask you where Train lands.
Oh, yeah, look, it's boot all the... What do you mean? Of course, if Renegades don't win this, it's going to be a really flat start, and I'm going to be extremely surprised. They are the number one team in this tournament. They should be head and shoulders above the rest, and if they cannot convert here, even though it is a best of one, even though that risk factor exists, then there's a bit of trouble within the camp. But Aaron's laughing. I can hear him, so it's all positive signs.
Blair?
Renegades going to take the train and shove it so deep it's going to reach their colon. I mean, here's the thing, man. Dreamscape, I love these guys. But they are so darn frustrating. I wanted to achieve something. I wanted to pull off a win, but yeah, not against Renegades, not on train, not happening.
It is a very tall task, and unfortunately, I think also the Renegades could have this one just completely in the bag right from the get-go. But only time will tell. And to deliver us that storyline is going to be your commentators in DDK and Bardo.
That's very descriptive there. Some anatomy going on. Interesting.
It's a science lesson here, as
it
well
is.
as a Counter-Strike lesson.
If you didn't know where that is, maybe you can describe it afterwards. Or maybe not, perhaps not. Well then, this will be an interesting one. I remember, I'm sure many of you watching do as well, I think I mentioned it in the previous minor, the Play It Cool event. We were broadcasting until 6 o'clock in the morning or something. I think it was a season where we had best of threes.
Yeah.
So we were broadcasting from 6 p.m. until 6 a.m. or something ridiculous. And then after that, I got a flight to Stockholm, and I was absolutely wrecked. I made the mistake of trying to sleep for 20 minutes, which probably made things worse.
Yeah.
And then played the Play It Cool event and was just on complete Planet Zarg. That didn't go so well for me, as I'm sure you can find on YouTube.
It's actually really weird because I'm sure some people have experienced this. I've experienced this a few times. Sometimes when you stay up, if you do an all-nighter and you stay up and you're playing games during it, you get to this stage where you actually are just in the zone constantly. And I always thought it was because your brain's just too tired to care about anything, so you're just on autopilot. And sometimes you play really well, sometimes, but other times you just play terribly.
I can't play when I'm tired. Just can't.
I can't anymore. I used to be able to, but it's difficult
Just
now.
too slow. I don't even remember years ago. I just don't remember, so I have no idea.
There's no memory.
I don't remember Saturday actually. Someone said to me, "How was your weekend?" I was like, I don't know what I did on Saturday. That was 2 days ago, man.
That's probably a problem.
Yeah.
That said, I don't know what I did on Saturday either.
There's a GG. The knife is about to take place here. Boot. I mean, in the game, it's OOT as in acronym. But we'll go with Boot. Boot.DS, it kind of makes me think of like something with MS-DOS, you know, which is cool.
Boot disk.
Some throwbacks from MS-DOS. Right, then who won the knife? I don't even know, but we'll soon see. Okay, Boot won the knife. They will start on the CT side, and we're about to get into it. So, let's see if these players had any sleep on the plane. I mean, they look in good condition, in good spirits. The Brofists are out. They've been deployed.
The caffeine is...
Oh, but these guys, they've got a cuddle. Let's get up and have a cuddle.
The caffeine's everywhere.
Like, you know, we've got a match to start, boys.
I love
Jacob's
the flags on the back. It's awesome.
It is nice.
Jacob.
It'd be cool to have them on the front, though, because, I mean, who sees the back? They sit in chairs. So I think it would have better implementation if it was on the front rather than back.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
Or the front and the back.
Because there are some teams. Is it FaZe that has them on the front?
Yeah. I mean, think about it, right? They sit in chairs all the time. Put them on the front. Or the front and the back.
Are they on the front somewhere?
Why is he in stitches, man? Get the chair, let's go!
Someone just told a really good joke.
Oh, that's good. To be in jolly good spirits before a match begins. Right then, Renegade starting on the T side. I love going on journeys in Asian Counter-Strike. I love it. Just learning about region. When we used to have our Oceanic League, that was cool as well.
I'm sure Renegades love it as well. I mean,
maybe we'll see another upset. I'm all down for the upsets today.
Maybe that was what they were laughing at. I mean, this is obviously an easier tier of competition than they're used to. So for them to be able to have this as their sort of qualification route into the minor as opposed to North America or something is definitely good. Because we saw really good competition for the North American minor. It was awesome to watch. I really enjoyed it. We saw 4 teams that have improved massively.
I think this region provides its own problems as well for teams who play in other regions, such as Renegades, in that it almost requires its own skill set to deal with things. Now, JKS has already made his way into the A bomb site, and I think he is completely undetected, or perhaps he's been seen now. 3 players moving in from the IV position, but Splash is making a splash in this pistol round. Bobasaur, Pokemon name, the question mark in the team. He'll get a kill as well. Traded. And now it's 3-on-2 for Boot.
Is that really fair? Is it allowed to have Pokemon in the team? Come on. This is a bit interesting now for Renegades because they've got so much time. So just wrapping back around to Ali, which is kind of a cool move because the time it takes to sort of walk all the way there, it's possible if there wasn't already a player sort of towards B that there would be now. But you know, of course,
Benkai's got the info, man.
Yeah, Boot have done the smart thing and they've got Benkai in a great position. So right now, Boot are pretty well covered with 3 players, and it's going to come down to just, as always, hitting those heads on the way in for Renegades. And impression, maybe they can catch him when he 180s, but that will do the job. Nifty will take him down, and they have a 2v1 on the bomb train. Tommy, can he delay for his teammate to get into position? He may be able to, but maybe not just quite in time. CZ will come out there for Benkai, and 25 seconds to plant the bomb here. So, that could be a great grenade. That's some damage. He may have given himself a chance with that one.
He's got 12 bullets, though, and he's got 2 people to kill. Oh, my days! Man like Benkai, let's go.
Spray down with the CZ.
Did not expect to.
That is really funny because it's that clutch is only happening probably with the CZ because of the way the spray, the bullets went perfectly onto the next player. That was nuts.
This was a great start from Splash.
Splash.
Nice. There are 3 countries with similar flags, like the one you see on the bottom of your screen there. I think Poland's is the same, and one of them is the colors are in reverse. But I watched a video about flags yesterday. So,
Honest James and I watching videos about flags.
I'm in that YouTube matrix where I'm just watching all kinds of crazy videos like real life lore, and just I watched a video on string theory yesterday. I like those videos. The educational part of YouTube is the best part of YouTube.
So, tell me about strings.
You have to watch the video, man.
What do you not gain anything from watching it? So you go
I can't explain that.
I'm sure it's quite simple. I thought the many worlds theory is the dominant theory in theoretical physics right now.
Well, it depends on. I mean, when you say the dominant theory,
Like there's the most consensus in the scientific community right now.
yeah, but that's a theory in one topic. There can be other theories in other topics.
Well, it's within the same scope.
I'm not buying many worlds. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying what they're selling.
Well, it's into the gun round, so we won't have to talk. We won't have to delve into theoretical physics any longer. I was really holding myself back there. Just really holding it back.
It's for the best, Dan.
Thank God. Thank God they got the bomb down. Thank God the AKs are out round 3. Imagine if there's an eco. Imagine. But it is not, and the AKs will be quickly met by the UMP of Impression. J-Chem, though, defending against the double push, or the triple push, that is on the long position. And look at him go. He has a great read of the situation, and if you took a really long blink, you would have missed it. Because it was fairly quick, but not one blink quick.
Well then, off they go, the Renegades. Boots can buy, and AWP has been dropped for splash by Impression. Talk about a choke point.
Jacob just bodied everyone. 4 kills to him. Give me the frags.
So is he permanent yet on Renegades, or is he still...
I'm not sure, but I'm happy for J-Chem to find a home, even if temporary. And I'm hoping that... I think, he's been doing fairly well with Renegades. J-Chem's been... He's had a troubling history because, he's had some great heights, but then, with that G2 lineup a long time ago with like Makalele and Fox, like those guys, and they made it really far in which major was it? It was the Inclusion of Poker, I think. And yeah, they did very well. And then since then, J-Chem sort of bounced around a little bit like AZ did for a while, a player that had a lot of potential but just didn't find the right unit, and I think it really sort of damaged his stock. So. See if he can do well with Renegades, and so far so good. He's getting all the entry frags. Good response coming in from Boot though.
Not sure if the player would have seen that guy. With a scope, it's really hard to see through flames. It's hard in general, but a scope is extra hard. As is he blocking through the smoke? I think Splash may have. I mean, there are 3 smokes around the connector position, and as is going to be, well, he's dead. Never mind. J-Chem has a strong position. Can he get 2, though? He probably can in this situation. He absolutely can. And that leaves Benkai with the scout in the middle of the site. 1v1. Both players are tagged, but J-Chem has a molly. Benkai's got an AWP, and he has no kit. Oh, that is CSGO timing for you. Oh, he's running towards the bomb, though, so he's going to die. That is horrible.
Oh, they both died. Everyone died.
Yeah.
What a hero for J-Chem. He gets the entry kill, and then he gets 2 more kills at the end of the round to secure it. J-Chem's just going off right now. He's got 11 kills in 4 rounds. That's pretty good. That's a good ratio of kills to deaths. And the output has been very needed. And that will put Boots straight on the eco. Got 3 nades, though. They're going to go for a triple nade stack on that team main position. And Azza's going to take some damage, but otherwise, he's going to be okay. Down to 69 health. And the AKs will start to be put to use.
BOOT.DS mostly spread out across the A site. Not really combining the forces here with these USPs. There was 1 smoke to be deployed near main. And 3 players coming up the IV position, so this round is almost certainly a formality. You can see the communication there. He can hold the angle with his weapon while his teammate throws the smoke grenade. I think 1 kill in this round is great for Boot. I mean, they got USPs. You can see Splash raise his crosshair there. Like his brain Here's the player above him.
Yeah.
And off we are into the next round. Let's go.
The T's did lose everyone in the previous round, so as you say, you know, the 1 kill, that definitely will sort of help to keep it in check. It's not too out of control just yet for Renegades, although it could get there if Boot lose this round and do 0 damage. Then it's definitely getting there. And they've got a decent enough amount of utility. I think I would have liked to have seen, you know, a FAMAS on Tommy, you know, just to load up a bit more. I think he only had 1 grenade. But we'll see how it goes for Boots. It can be very tough because if Renegades play a slow round, and Renegades will know that it's the first buy round, they'll know that economic sacrifices will have been made. So if they play it slow and try to pressure well, all the grenades will eventually be used, and there won't be any left for the CTs on defense for the late round. And so that's one way that strategically Renegades can approach this particular round, and we can see some pressure on Ali. And there's some more nades being baited out. And I would imagine around 45 seconds, if the pace is slow, that we'll start to see Renegades push in or try to make a big effort to push towards a bomb train. And yeah, here it is. We're going to start to see the repositioning for the split on the outside bomb site. And around 45 seconds. Oh, I'm a genius, James.
Granate.
I'm a genius.
Oh, you called it 1 second with the guy smoke in his hand.
No, I called it 20 seconds ago.
Okay, I wasn't listening to you then. Yeah. And here are the frags again from the Renegade side. I don't know how many frags Boot have had really since the AKs came out for Renegades. Impression and Benkai remain here for Boot. Benkai ran the IV position, being spotted by Azza. That's information, but there are problems here for Renegades because how are they going to plant the bomb? They can't plant back trains because of the positions of these CTs. They can't plant for Pop Dog because of the IV hold from Benkai. And now they can get the bomb down. But they had to win those duels, and there were around 8 seconds on the clock there. So that did start to get hairy for Renegades. We always say the IV CT position is very important for both teams to control because it does cut the bomb site in half diagonally as the train is diagonal. You need that control in order to plant the bomb in the usual positions. So it's one to watch out for.
Boot. Makes me think of Canadians for some reason.
A boot?
A boot, yeah. Imagine if Sadikis was casting. A boot. Anyways. That was a good result for Renegades in the end. A fairly straightforward round. Play a slower pace, and one way you can create sort of reference points based on how much time is reasonably left to describe the pacing. Especially with a map like this, because you're either in the bomb site or you're not. That's how Train is. It's not like Cache or Mirage or Dust 2. You can have mid control, you can have control short. These kind of contested areas that aren't on a bomb site. Here it's you're on a bomb site or you're not. So it's a bit easy. It's a bit more easy to predict some of the timings in that sense. But here's a push, and the Shadows absolutely giving the game away. That's a nice shot from Tommy, but the trade is there, and that's a 4v3 for Renegades, and they'll be quite happy with that because there's well over a minute remaining. So they really get a lot of time to work now onto the bomb sites with this huge hole now in the defense. It gives you so much confidence, doesn't it, as a T side, when you get these picks very early on in a round like this, as opposed to there's 30 seconds left, and now you're like, oh gods, there could be 3 guys, like three pistols around this corner.
Note how Renegades are not giving any sound cues away, which would give the CTs time to rotate into better positions to try and concentrate what little they have.
Oh,
okay. Now, Bulbasaur, never mind, he's dead. Benkai versus 3. He needs a headshot here. There is more damage to do. He hasn't spotted a player to his left, and now he's gone. He's smoked like a kipper, like a slice of salmon. Jacob 13 for 4 at present. Is this going to be a landslide map? It's still early days, and Boot are at maximum loss bonus now, which means their buys will be big. They still continue with just 1 AWP. Now let's see if Jacob can keep up his entries.
And one quick note, right about the the last round, just the end of it. The way that Renegades used their number when they got the picks, they chose to go upper in B. That's really smart when there's just pistols. Get good vantage point. Anyway, we have a good start here for Boots. Impression able to catch Renegades as they move across into the upper areas of B here, and Istillo, again, like it can be risky to go to this upper position when there's an AWP out, and this is the reason why. And that's a 3v5 now. Az is very weak as well, so really looking like Boot are going to just take this one at this point. Renegades bleeding out. And, well, credit to Impression for getting them off to a really good start. And look at where the money is too. If they are able to survive with all 5, then that's going to be fantastic. So JKS's mission here, he's got to get a couple headshots, and he can't get any, so that's fantastic. Boot, they're going to have some security, nice little buffer of cash.
That is a good run for Boot. However, I mean, that's a lot of information for Renegades, right? Now they will be expectant, okay, if we make a play towards the B bomb site, there's a fair chance that there'll be a sniper rifle playing around connector, which is a very common thing. But they will be experienced in playing around this and know how to neutralize it. Maybe we'll see more fakes from them now. Grenades into A, trying to pull the sniper out of position, essentially. Benkai is creeping in the smoke on Ivy. Looks like we have some gimmick smoke grenades, and those gimmick smoke grenades at the right time can only takes 1 or 2 to put you in a match-winning position or an area to break, a position to break the money of an opposing team. There we go. There's the English.
That's a nice tag onto Nifty through the wall.
Ooh, look at these.
So some forward smokes here by Boots, and interesting. They're gonna play with these, just walking through this into the smoke.
Bobsaw is literally standing in the middle of a smoke near main.
Yeah, I don't
he
think
can't
you'd
see
expect
anything.
that.
He's just in the smoke.
Wow, he's actually gonna realize that T main has been voided, and there's only one reason that could be if you suspect them to go to A, and it's to throw the grenades. And he's gonna hear them deploy all the grenades. And he's gonna drop an incendiary that's gonna stagger the push, and he's gonna back out of there. So this is kind of cool from Bobasaur.
He's got flashes as well, and he forces the issue once again. Nifty trying to trade, jumping into position. He's dancing, but he will eventually go down. That's a lovely flick from Splash, and he's got the angle, but he's double scoped in, which obscures his vision of the high ground. Something to think about for the future there. 2 versus 3 Impression. Won't leave an impression in this round, and that leaves Tommy 1 versus 3. Jacob moving into position. Now the last 2 players have the information. Tommy trying to bait the AWP shot. He's got a flashbang for it, but he stands in the open before the flash goes off, and that will cost him and them the round.
Yeah, that's a great shame for Boots, because the play that Bobasaur made that's just like absolutely how you want to be able to do this, because when there's splits coming in, one of the most powerful things is staggering the push, because the whole strength of a split is to split the defense. That's sort of the principle at play there. And so if you stagger the push like that, it's much easier to sort of know where to look at the CTs and to control the situation and to kind of double team the Ts as they come in a much more manageable fashion. So it's unfortunate they were unable to capitalize there, but Renegades, we know that they have a lot of advantages moving into these games, and they'll be moving into the upper area of B, although not without some turmoil. JChem swaps out for the AK. Oh, the lineup comes in for Benkai, and at the same time, Splash K, he's going to be able to get Azza. And Bobasaur has taken down Istillo. Bobasaur, that's a great name. Like
It's crazy, isn't it?
It just makes you think of
I wonder,
Bulbasaur,
like,
but
how old he was when he chose it.
so it's actually like such a good name. I really like it.
Yeah, it's kind of cute, isn't it? It's cutesy. And maybe it is... like, if you're just getting wrecked by somebody called Bulbasaur all the time, some people are going to get triggered. I know Sliggy will get triggered. Now Renegades are on the pistols, so this is a great opportunity for Boot to keep the score close. Who knows what they have to offer on their T side. Some nice pre-fire there from Benkai. Got to be careful though with now 11 HP. Although Renegades are running out of people to target him with, and they may be too committed to the A site here. Bobasaur must be careful because Azza lurks a crouch peek will work out very well for Monsieur Bobasaur. Oh, but if his name was Monsieur Bobasaur, that would be even more awesome.
Well, nice headshot from JKS. Just keep that pressure on the economy. At the very least, JKS has an M4 now, and you definitely will be thinking about committing this to try to get more damage. Not thinking about saving it all. And will Nifty check this? Oh, he will, but so will Bobasaur. Has a sixth sense about it, but will he expect JKS as well? He will not. That's a quick frag for JKS, who can actually do a lot more damage from this position. The lack of Kevlar is obviously an issue, but this bomb site is really useful for him in that sense, because there's lots of ways to get the element of surprise with the way that the trains are. You can sort of just pop out, and there's so many spots for the CTs to cover. You can find blind spots and surprise them, and that's what he needs. The element of surprise. And is he going to be able to spot the guy in the alley? Or a predictable position, he looks for it, but Benkai too quick. And Boots with 5 rounds. Boot are actually doing a really good job here in picking up rounds. They obviously did win the pistol, but they've obviously since won against 3 buys of Renegades. So they are doing well, I would say, because I think everyone would expect them to get crushed against Renegades. I think everyone's expectation against Renegades is to get crushed in this minor, actually. So it's a good start for Boots.
Yes, indeed. Indeedy. JKS very quickly. Oh, look at his charge. Looking to frag out versus these Boot players and not play the slow game and allow them to get something going. And that's working. The fast smoke towards Ivy isolates and allows him to plant the bomb. We talk about Ivy control. And that is one way to do it. What can Boot do to this surge in the A side? Boot. Not a whole lot. They have money if they save these 3 guns, and now that 3rd gun being dropped will... Sorry, 4th. Impression is alone, never mind. I mean, that is the round that Renegades needed. Just overwhelm them. A team with less experience will find it harder to make quick decisions and deal with fast pressure.
Yeah.
And Renegades will exploit that.
In that round, Boots were the Boot from Monopoly, and Renegades were the racing car. What did you choose in Monopoly?
I mean, that doesn't really make any sense because you choose pieces, but anything can happen after you choose the piece. So when you say Boot with a Boot, that doesn't make any sense.
Well, what do you want, James? A Boot or a racing car? I mean, come on.
It's irrelevant to the game of Monopoly. Your analogy makes less sense than mine. That's a problem, Dad.
It's because you're taking it too literally. That's the problem. It's like, well, actually...
Right, guys on the internet, tweet down your opinions of his Monopoly analogy. Because I think it leaves much to be desired. Nifty says hello. Just a polite welcoming of the Boot players. Like, it can be a piece from Monopoly, but it has to, it has to be something more than that. Can't just be the piece. Unless the piece is notorious for, like, something. Or good for something. It can't just be a piece. Basically, you said that they're both inanimate objects. And it's like, where do we go from here?
Well, a Boot is something you put in your feet to walk in.
Not in Monopoly,
and one is
though,
a
is
race
it?
car.
Not in Monopoly.
I know, of course not.
That's why it doesn't make any sense, man!
Well, okay. Do you want me to, every single time you say something that doesn't make sense, shall I just be like, James, well, actually, that doesn't make any sense.
We won't have much time to commentate that.
Exactly.
But we have roles. You're not supposed to do this. You're supposed to be,
who knows? Who knows what?
You're supposed to be the Boot, Dan. I'm supposed to be the car.
Le Boot. Ooh, there we go. This is an opportunity for the Renegades. Man, it makes me think of that great Rage song. But now it's down to J-Chem again. But he's on 17 kills, James. He's been shooting some dudes.
Didn't matter in this round.
Yeah.
Round number 6 for Boot. They are, I mean, despite Jacob's best efforts, they've got 6 rounds on the board. I mean, is 6 rounds, bearing in mind they're on the CT side. Like, we don't know, you and I, we don't know what to expect. We've never seen this team play before. It's all well and good to look at statistics on HLTV, but we've never seen them play. So we cannot have expectations of their T side. We can't say at this point, oh, okay, they're in a good spot if they have 10 rounds, or if they have 8 rounds, or if they have, 5 rounds. Like, we don't know what we expect their weaker side to be, and so on and so forth. So it might look good. They got 6 rounds, but maybe they need 9 rounds.
It's always a good map for Renegades too, and yeah, it is hard to know what to expect. It's also a weird map as well, insofar as when you look at a Mirage, a Dust 2, a Cache, like these maps have more of the fundamentals of Counter-Strike, whereas Train is a little bit different. It's kind of like Nuke is a bit different, or Cobblestone emphasized certain aspects, but removes certain other aspects from the T side, and the CT side. So it's a strange one. But they are in a good spot at the start of this round. That's a good pick from Benkai. He's going to spot Azza moving into an aggressive position outside. And Azza, the whole point of Azza there was to survive and to keep the threat levels and the suspicion towards A high. But he died straight away. And so now Boot have 2 players in the B site and they just go for the raw challenge. That is not a good sign. No smoke there from Renegades. They wanted to take the open jewels and it works out. A 2v3 for them after plant. And they're in good stead.
Ooh, he should have got the spray there, JKS. Nifty is left with a lot to do. Has he been spotted? It seems like he has. Maybe something was poking through the smoke, or perhaps it was just a curious spray. Either way, it is going to be a tied scoreline now. Renegades plant bomb. We'll see what that means for their money very shortly indeed. Not a lot, to be honest. I think they'll have to go for another fast round or a smoke execute towards the A site. We'll see. Well, they may choose to avoid the initial grenades from their opponent. Nifty's picking up a scout. That's a bit rough. So, not as easy. I don't really see the depths of the of the colon that was spoken about on the analyst desk. I don't know what else to say. Yeah, Boots have given themselves opportunity.
Is that your throw when we go back to the desk later?
No, I don't want to say that again. Oh dear.
No! Oh my God! Hello. Hello.
Ooh,
you can just stalk. Oh.
That's inexcusable.
That is crazy. That is really interesting. Renegades with the early frag in this round.
Look at the weaponry in Renegades as well. Like, at least on paper, there's such a big opportunity for Boot in this round. And that frag, with so much time on the clock, could lose him the round, ultimately. We'll have to see how it plays out, but now positions will be compromised. Splash will be entertained towards Ivy when he could have been doing a job elsewhere. So these kind of unforced errors, when Boot need everything they can get, you can't be doing things like that.
Yes, Boot have put themselves in a compromising position, and it gets worse. Tommy tries to take Pop Dog from JChem, but JChem's been winning his fights. Goes down to 12 HP, but he's still alive, and they have Pop Dog control. This is a great angle. Oh, that was a shot that needed to connect for Splashski. Now Splashski is in trouble. Last man standing, they know exactly where he is. 5 players to find, and he will get traded out. 8-7 for Renegades T side, and we've yet to see, as James mentioned, too much from Boots, from just generally how they play as a team. So it's hard for us to know actually as to what to expect going into this second half. Renegades, they lost that first pistol. We saw some great little taps. I think it was from Impression. I think he got 2 immediate kills at Ali. Let's see if Boots can get a second pistol round under their belt. They've got a smoke and a flashbang. Otherwise, a bunch of Kevlars. So nothing too fancy this round from them.
So wait, were they the car or the boot in the previously? Boots. Were they the boot before?
Yeah.
So maybe they're the car now.
Maybe the Boots piloting the car.
All right, here comes the charge. Jacob's got the range with the USP, but he hasn't quite got the frags. The bomb has been dropped for a second, and he's speed collected. Get it down fast as the numbers are dropping here for Boots. And there is the plant, the default plant. There is smoke, but no kit for the CT side. Splash needs to... Oh, that's a big entry for him, but he gets traded immediately. Benkai on the flank, but the bomb's not planted for him. Again, there's no kit, so he might have half a second. Oh, the sound cue is there. You slow spot, double peek. And that is the round for the Renegades. Mate. Ah, he still went for the smoke and the CZ, so I guess he was expecting a rush somewhere. Again, in a pistol round, if like Balcony on Inferno, maybe Ivy or something, you could drop a smoke, and depending on the position and how likely you think you have to get sprayed through it, you can just body block and then get pretty much free kills as they poke out of the smoke but can't see. So that's the pistol round that Renegades needed. And now both sides have won a pistol round. So let's see what Renegades can do. They started with a lead in this half, and Nifty... Did Nifty just get a jumping frag? I think he did.
Nifty don't care. Splashkey. Oh, he pulls out the burst. Respect that. So what kind of boot are we going to see on this T side? Will they be a Wellington boot, James? Good for all occasions.
I thought at first I thought food because beef Wellington, right?
Well, yeah. Well, Wellington was. I guess people call it wellies.
Yeah. I don't know when I last wore a Wellington boot. I was a child.
Yeah. Same. They are actually really awesome. Run around mud and stuff. But anyways, as they're going to go for the pop flash, there does spot a couple players on the Ivy, the end of the Ivy position. And he's going to go for the forward smoke, which will delay timings of boot and just be generally annoying. And this is cool, again, because when the CTs do this, obviously if the Ts had a round they wanted to play, then now boot have to be like, okay, how much utility do we want to be left with? Because we can only use so much here. Because it's limited, we need to have enough to execute our plan, whatever that is, if it's a set piece or whatever the plan might be. And so as it's just being supremely annoying, even if he doesn't get any kills, like he's done a bunch of damage, another smoke coming in to assist Azza because there's so many Ts just who have his attention. I don't think the smoke covers him though. Ooh, how does he make it through alive? I don't believe that. Oh man, he gets out of there. That is not something that should have happened. He's wasted so much time. 2 players critically weak. They used a lot of grenades. They've got 2 smokes left. This was a success from Renegades, this play.
40 seconds, 1 smoke. 2 players more or less around Ivy with Nifty and the bomb train. And Boot start to move in very slowly indeed. How on earth are you going to get the bomb down, boys? Continuation spray from Jacob, trying to drop the grenades, but Splash will come in from the Ivy position. He will be hit by 2. That leaves Bobasaur 1 versus 3, and there is no way this bomb is going down on this occasion. Strong round from Renegades. No plant for Boot. They will be on eco, looking to buy in the next one.
Yeah, and that was a really good demonstration of sort of something that we didn't really see from Boots. And that was, one of these, like the understanding, and we see it, in the CT sides on all maps these days in the European meta and the North American meta at the top level, is that you have to have like they call it a mini T side sometimes because, you have to take pressures against your opponents. You want to, they may have a plan, you want to disrupt the plan, you want to keep the pressure up. And that's a lot of extra steps to take, and it can be complicated to pull it off. You've got to have strong setups, you've got to have good and well-practiced tactics in the pop flashes you use and the smokes you use and timings you use. And so it's more complicated, but it can reward you massively if you do it well. Speaking of which, Impression is actually in a spot where he could do a lot of damage. 2 players very, very weak. Bomb is not with him, though, and he takes down the player with all the health. My God. They actually end up doing a lot of damage there. My. 12-7 for Renegades, though, and they will continue to win the CT rounds. 4 in a row now.
Maybe a comfortable finish for Renegades. Nobody close to them on the finish line. Very important round for Boot. Damage is all good, but rounds must be won. Renegades are 4 away from victory. Big buy from Boot. 2 players starting in the B bomb site. Look at that from Impression. He will fall to the flames, however. J-Game has an angle on Tommy. I don't think it's fired a bullet yet. More trades. Who does this favour? Normally you'd say the CT side, but being more experienced, I don't know. 2 versus 2 now, and Renegades have been smoked off. Will Boot be prepared for potential boost? It seems like it. Splash slowly creeping. Oh, he's missed his shot though. Been teased by the gun, but a second attempt will land. You have to assume that Nifty is either in connector or back bomb trains, but now the smoke grenade will tell a story. Focusing on making sure he doesn't push through and the bomb gets planted. Nifty, what do you do here? Suggesting he's going back trains, and Bulbasaur has taken the bait. Splash with a Molotov in connector just in case.
And that Molotov's okay for Nifty because the smoke was still up anyway, so... Okay, he did just scope, but it doesn't seem as though Bulbasaur actually heard that. But Nifty cannot know, and their money's a bit suspect, so saving the orb will allow them to fall by in the following rounds, I do believe. Yes. Yes, because, yeah, JKS drops a gun for JChem, Azza has $4,400, and so, yeah, everyone's able to buy pretty effectively. But this is the big swing around now for Boot. They've got to win this one to crush the economy. If they lose it, they get reset, and Renegades build a buffer, and maybe they don't get another good chance again. But I think one thing we're seeing from Boot is that they can fight.
This is a big round. I feel like if Renegades win this round and there's no plant, they're in good stead to win the map. That is a very good start. He passes the information to his team, but they're being compromised. Nifty got to be careful he doesn't get caught with a grenade in his hand. He is the sniper after all. But he's still supporting his teammates, which is very awkward indeed. In position now, does he go for the re-peek? No fear from Nifty, but he can't go back to the wall too many times. Running distraction while Jacob gets the frag. Now the teams know where he is. They'll pick him off. But this is Bedlam. And we might see JK start to push the B bomb site. Indeed, we will. And Ustillo is still in a pop dog position for the time being. Impression showing presence towards Ivy. And there's a lot of time on the clock here for Boot, but they are being compromised, as we can see with that flank.
Yeah, it's cool to see the confidence from Boot in some of these fights. But it is now, a very troubling position. Oh, JKS, a little bit too slow. Splashkey fast enough. And now Ustillo is going to give it a go for the flank. And this could be very powerful if he decides to continue onwards, but doesn't have the information just yet as to whether they're going to double back. But he's going to take the risk and make his way down the stairs. Nifty was going to confirm things, finds the frag onto Splashkey. They definitely won't be looking at the flank at this point. They've got too much on their hands in front of them. And that bomb needs to be recollected. There's 20 seconds to get the plant in, and Renegades know it. Ustillo coming in for the flank. This will end the round surely. There's no way to recover the bomb now as Impression dances around the site looking for some additional damage. And Renegades, they've done it. They've reset Boot completely. And Boot, they are probably going to have to force by next rounds.
They were stuck in main so long, it was almost felt like they weren't sure what they should have done in that situation. And yeah, that's a problem. No plants. So I feel like Renegades are. It's a fact. They're in a very strong position to win this game now. But only one T round has been won in this half. There's no money really to do anything in this round. So there are many problems here for Boot.
One of the things as well that really helped Renegades was, I forget which player it was from Boots, but one of their players went to Olaf and then went straight to Hell. And then what happened was JChem, he sort of crept towards Olaf as well and then sort of backstabbed that player. And in doing so, then just slowed the T's from coming out of main because it was no longer safe for them to really come out of main just because of the presence of JChem. They ended up fragging him, but then Nifty had the position and was just stopping them from pushing forwards and gaining any position forwards. So JChem just sort of, by splitting up that push, just did his job. And this will be almost a complete save. Tommy's bought some Kevlar. I'm not sure if that was necessary, but...
Why has he done that?
Yeah, it doesn't really seem like you're going to get anything from it. You need all the money you can spare for the next round.
They're going to have 3,800s next round. I mean,
Yeah.
he will have 3,800, assuming the bomb doesn't go down. So, I mean, you could have, what, 44, 50?
Yeah.
Which is grenades and an AK. Okay, then.
That's a bit interesting, yeah.
Yeah, but how many times is that going to happen? I mean,
No, exactly.
okay.
So Renegades to let them plant the bomb.
Yeah, but, I mean, they might win the round now. 1 versus 2. He gets a headshot onto Azza. Look at him moving around. Just making it hard for the CTs to get their work in, but I mean, that is weird.
It's a bit
really,
strange,
they should get wrecked. I think most of the time they're getting wrecked and the bomb's not going down.
Yeah.
Or some of the time the bomb does go down, but...
Yeah, they looked a lot less stupid there than they were likely to. They're definitely likely to look more stupid.
But if you can damage aside, you make $150 versus not buying Kevlar, basically.
Yeah,
implanting the bomb. So maybe you kill one person normally, but that's like the whole team.
Yeah, I think in rounds in which you buy 0 utility, you have the assumption has to be that you're not going to get a bomb down in a T perspective. But they managed to, and that's going to give them some utility this round. They may not be able to use it though. Benkai just died with a full nade set, and it's just Bulbasaur and Tommy remaining. And this fast push has not worked out here for Boot, and this is their last best chance. They will not have any money in the next rounds. And so Renegades are on the cusp of victory. On the cusp. Ooh, hello. Ystilo's taking one in the thigh. In the thighs.
Now what? Ooh, lucky to get away with that one. 10 HP. Ystilo is a goner. 1 versus 3 now. Tommy going for the spray transfer, but the first one didn't arrive at the station, unfortunately. Match point for Renegades, and yeah, this looks like the end of the line for Boot. There's a hole in the boot, and the water's coming in.
Indeed. Muddy water.
See, now you could make you could be like, the boot will not pass go. Will not get £200 or whatever it is. Now the analogies can come in, because you can take it further. You can complete the circle, Dan. I'll even give you the crayon.
I don't wanna. I'm not a completionist like you.
The boot has landed.
Boot's gone to jail.
How would you call it? He's trespassing on property, and the Renegades are coming in for them taxes. You know, whatever else there is.
I can't believe you haven't talked about jail yet. That's usually your go-to.
Well, that's the do not pass go. Go directly to jail. Do not pass go.
Oh.
Have you played Monopoly before, Dan?
Yeah. I actually don't like playing Monopoly anymore, and I haven't for many years.
Thanks. That's great.
So just don't invite me on board game night. Right, so we've got the last push here from Boot, perhaps, unless they somehow manage to find some success. But JKS is having a field day over there on the B-bomb sites, and Boot are very disconnected from one another, but Splashkey will actually manage to get himself a frag outside. A big rotation from the CTs, as they expected everyone to be coming in towards the B site, but it was a big distraction. But look how far Boot are away from the push. The timing is very staggered, and they will not be able to make it work. 16-8. A decent first half from Boot. They get 7 rounds on that T side, I think a lot more than we expected. But on the CT side for Renegades, they only conceded a single round.
Yes, that wasn't the most difficult match I think Renegades will have in this Asian minor. Renegades loving life at the moment. Pretty simple affair for them, I think it's fair to say. I mean, I don't know what we can really take away from that match as far as Boot are concerned, but obviously the level of experiences there's a canyon between them.
Yeah, I think Train is a difficult map to sort of see how a team looks at the fundamentals of the game, because I think that was really good. It was really it provides a lot of insight when we saw Mirage just now, and how both teams tackled it, because you got these like really clear opportunities for map control, for pushing, for like how you do the setups and so on, and how you use utilities. Very clear, but Train is a little bit difficult. Even on the very top level, you see a lot of teams with very simplistic game plans that don't really show a lot of the aspects of Counter-Strike. So yeah, still much more research to be done.
Yeah, we'll see what Boot can do. If they can give someone else the boot. Oh god, I can just feel the cringe just coming over me. Well, I mean, that's great for Renegades. Solid. We will have to see how they're doing in the matches to come. But for now, Renegades are on the floor with Parla.
Congratulations, NRG for a second there, on that victory over Boots. What was it like to catch a real-life Pokemon, a Bulbasaur?
Yeah, it was fun, you know, just won the game.
Yeah, cool. What was the hardest part about playing Boot, and how did you overcome the way that they play Counter-Strike?
I mean, it wasn't so much about overcoming them. I think it was just holding our own and just kind of doing what we've been practicing. So
I think it's fair to say you guys are one of the favourites here to take a qualifying spot. Do you feel that there's extra pressure on you for that? And also, do you agree with that evaluation of you and the team?
I mean, I guess I can agree with it, but yeah, I don't know. We're just here. We're just gonna try to qualify, and that's it. We're not really gonna be thinking about anyone else. So we're just gonna do our own thing and stay focused.
I know, Nifty, you and the guys were we can walk this way, you don't have to stand still. We have a mobile, fantastic cameraman. That you guys were boot camping in CPH at Blast's premises, one of Refresh's offices. How did that boot camp go, and how was the preparation within the team?
Yeah, it was good. We rocked up about a week ago in Denmark, and we went to the Refresh offices, and everything was great. The PCs were great, the room was great. They gave us everything we needed, and we got to play the best teams in the world, and we got a lot of good practice, so it was good.
And as Chad did want me to ask you, how often do you guys make sure that Nifty prays to the altar and shrine that you guys have built in the closet in your house of him?
Every day. He has to do it, or he's gone. Just get down there kneeling, boy.
And do you feel that he's following in the footsteps of the Australian royalty that is Chad Birchill?
I think he's doing a good job. He's got a visa now for Australia, so passport's incoming also, everything. So we're good.
Great to hear, Aaron. Final questions over to Ryu. How has it been at this point joining the team? It's been about a couple months now, a month and a half. And do you feel you're having the impact that you want? And what's it like to join up with Nifty again?
I mean, it's good. It's really nice to see him pray to that shrine you guys were talking about. It was super weird when I first got there to watch him do it, but I think it's helped the team a lot. Just a tremendously talented team. Came in, and I think they were maybe in a little bit of a funk, and just kind of helped them realize how good they actually are. And hopefully we continue to prove it at this event. We just got to take care of business, play the game that we've been practicing. I think we'll be okay.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Ryu. Looking great, by the way, mate. Dude, look at... No. See, Ryu's always been like a handsome guy, but this guy has been hitting the gym. Let's head back to the desk.
Yes, indeed. That is Paula P. He will be down there on the sidelines all week long, as he has been. Quite the matchup here from the boys of the Renegades.
Are you flexing right now, Trace?
No, not even
I'm
close.
flexing right
The
now.
only thing I was flexing on yesterday was the Burger King in the airport. That
was not the healthiest of options, but we needed it at the time. And you know what Boot needed? They may have needed some getting off that plane, because I'm going to be honest, for them to even get 8 rounds, I'm impressed. If you're going to travel from that part of the world, you're going to land, you're going to go up against a squad like Renegades, and you're still going to make some rounds relatively interesting. You're going to take a pistol round. You're going to have some moments, I would say. That's a pretty good sign.
It's a pretty good sign as well, but let's be honest, right? This is a map that is one of the top 3 best played maps, so to speak.
Sure.
They start on the CT side, there's that caveat. But when Renegade switched it up, we're going to be seeing a little later down the line, they weren't able to handle the pace, basically, right? And on the T side, you could see the fact that they were playing with a stand-in was always going to be a problem. They weren't quite getting it right. Many of them were getting caught off guard. There was no trade game happening. Everyone got spread apart. The CT side kind of bad there. But I still think, that going forth in this today, they still have the loser bracket matchup coming up.
Yep.
They should be still feeling a little confident. Like, all right, guys, we can still make things happen.
A positive sign, and I suppose a trend that's happening more often than not now with Renegades, is Jacob is being towards the top of the scoreboard on a regular basis. Something that people need to note is Jacob has played at the top levels of Counter-Strike for a very long period of time, and when he goes up against an Asian opponent, or one that he definitely deems as a lesser, his confidence is through the roof. He doesn't actually think, I have to worry about this player. He knows that he is better, or he's played on a level where he is better than all these guys. So I'm expecting him throughout this Asian minor to continue to be towards the top, because this is the first time, I believe, that he has been playing for Renegades during a minor phase. So I think this is going to be a massive tournament for him, and a good chance to pad some of those stats for HLTV.org.
Yeah, definitely you can just see the difference in him when he has that confidence.
Yeah.
And there's plenty of players that are like that, but in this case, Jake Kim is one of those that kind of fell off the radar for a little while, but now back with Renegades. I know that there was a lot of questions. Is this temporary? Is this going to be a long-term thing?
Yeah.
But he has definitely found, I think, a home here.
And not only through a play style as well, but he also is comfortable with the squad, and I know that they like him. So from a personality side of things, it's all working and all gelling, and I think that long-term stand-in tag has been changed to a full-time member.
Yeah.
As far as I'm aware, after asking Nifty, he's all in. So that's good signs for Renegades going forward if they can keep this consistency and this roster together for a period of time and nobody decides they want to leave.
Well, how about we do this? We talked about silver linings, and also, obviously, the Renegades not exactly being tested here too strenuously. What are some things Boot could take away from this other than perhaps maybe taking a nap before their next game?
I don't think they have time for a nap, do they?
No, they've got time. We do the Renegades versus Scars game next. So they have
best of one,
they've got
right?
40 to 50 minutes.
I think they should be feeling pretty comfortable. The good sign would be Benkai, Impression, the usual suspects like Splash Kid. They were hitting some nice shots here and there. Benkai was doing his thing, which is like. He's a really good lurker, right? And I think against a team of Renegades, his experiences, he really struggled there. But he's going to be facing off, either Scars or it's going to be Vici Gaming. Sorry, it's going to be Vici Gaming, right? Now, here's the thing: Vici Gaming opting going to stand in as well, and that's a coach. He's not even a proper player. We saw he was struggling when it comes to just basic aim and holding angles and whatnot. And Bulbasaur, even though he's playing for like a tier 4 Singaporean team, he's still a player. He's still a young guy, and. Just looking at those first two games, I think Boot looked even more impressive rather compared to Vici, who really struggled against Scars.
Yeah.
And for Boot, they're facing off against probably the best team in this tournament as Renegades. So I think they should be pretty confident about things going into the next matchup. But it's going to be a fun game though. Vici versus Boot.
Well, we do have a resident Australian who was able to capture some of the magic that was Renegades there over Boot. And it's actually going to be a fast outside take. So, Sponge, take it away.
Yeah, just to set this up, basically it was very difficult for the likes of Boot to defend against Renegades when they were doing the fast-paced plays. And to put that in context for people, when you have a stand-in on the CT side, it can be very difficult on a map like Train because you have protocols in place of which positions you want to watch. So we're about to see a fast strategy here that unfolds on the outer bomb site where they push on out, they just have the basic smokes and Molotovs. And this is what I'm talking about. There's a player stuck on the front of the bomb train right now, completely flashed up. Jacob's able to push out, grab an opening kill, and at this point everything crumbles because, look, the stand-in is playing towards that outer yard. He might not have been completely briefed on which position he needs to watch when an execute comes out. And when that goes into play, one player going down is just a domino falling, and that effect continues to flow. And Renegades, when they were faster, was very difficult for that of Boot to defend against. So if they just keep that fast, disrespectful pace CS with a structure, because that is an execute, that's a set piece.
Yeah.
Smokes and Molotovs, you get your flight paths, all that's in play. That's a cool way to run over these Asian squads for the Renegades guys.
Absolutely, and also even that tiny little redraw. I'm not too sure if they went with it, but one would assume that they actually went for the outer hit because Bulbasaur was playing there. I think they knew that he was a stand-in, and they would probably be like, "Hey guys, let's just go for a fast play," and that's the difference. That's what's going to take them through to the finals. I feel like the fact that when they go for these fast play setups and whatnot, they have everything going down for them properly. They have played together as a unit for quite a while. They have everything down to a T compared to 4 teams in this minor have stand-ins playing for them.
Yep.
Right.
That's
you can't pull that off. No matter how good you are, no matter how well drilled you are, when you have one element missing, it's always going to be a problem.
And you also get that sort of sentiment of like this player is going to be targeted now across the map. And of course, on your CT sides, like you're talking about, Chad, that really doesn't help the scenario, does it? We could take a look at the brackets, though. This one continues to unfold here at Twickenham. And it should break down a little bit like this. Scars did get the first victory of the day. Then Renegades followed thereafter. So now they will be our next matchup, which is starting to set up this lower bracket.
You could see, we were up there, there's a green room / player chill area, right? That's where we're watching the matches. And the Scars guys, or at least some of them, were playing pool. So they must be feeling pretty confident with this matchup, right? Because this was meant to be the original game that was going to take place. It was meant to be Renegades versus Scars, but then because the Boot stand in, the brackets got shuffled a little bit.
Yeah.
Understandable. They come in as the lower seed. It all makes sense. But going into this game, I would say that Scars have done their homework on Renegades. Now, we saw with their game plan against Vici that it was different to normal Counter-Strike, or at least the Counter-Strike we're used to towards the upper echelons or the tier 1. I think if Renegades play disrespectful, they're just going to run all over them. I think that would be the best approach if you're the Aussie squad right now.
For a pound-for-pound fight, being player versus player.
It's like you versus me.
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably lose to Chad.
I'd give you a Kimura.
In a fight, something along those lines. Yeah. I'd probably need to bring a baseball bat or maybe even a cricket bat if you're into that sort of thing. Either way, perhaps we go to a break. We're going to be going to a next matchup here. It's going to be the upper bracket, and it's going to be Renegades versus Scars. So make sure you don't go anywhere. You don't want to miss this banger. We'll be right back.